Hey guys, I'm SDN Wolf. Welcome back to the channel. Like one or two of you guys have asked my thoughts about, these YouTubers are always like, everybody's been asking. So I figured I'd make a video, and I'm like, no, like one or two people have asked me my thoughts on Frontier Unlocked. So here's that video. Stick around if you want to have a chat about that. My honest opinion on the Frontier Unlocked series, I think it's a good thing. I think it is a positive step in the right direction. It's one of the few things that a lot of us have we've agreed on over the years is Frontier needs more communication. And I think this is a good step. Now, did it leave us with in a sense, like more questions than answered? Yes. Was it still kind of vague? Yes. But as I mentioned on Twitter, is this Frontier stepping out of their comfort zone? Absolutely yes. This Frontier Unlocked, completely unheard of a year ago, 6 months ago. Never would we think that we would get this level of communication from Frontier. And I think a lot of us are thinking maybe this is the writing on the wall. They know that things are definitely in a downturn right now, and they're coming up with ideas to rectify that. And I don't think any of us can deny that communication is a good thing. Like anywhere in your life, marriage, family relationships, your job, not communicating is always a bad thing. So why would we think in the game world non-communication is a good thing? Like that's okay. In every other facet of our lives, typically, like particularly with work, 9 times out of 10, your biggest problems you face at work, in a marriage, not communicating. People aren't mind readers. And in Frontier's case, with being so secretive and so quiet over the years, it always left us with like all of us just in a vacuum with speculation and wild guesses. And you really can't blame us because that's all we had to go off of. Frontier would swoop in, make an announcement, dip out, then, release whatever it was, and maybe not, and then not talk about it again till the next thing came 3 or 4 months later. It was really like a horrible track record of developer communication. Going wild for a week and then literally not hearing from you again for 90 days, other than the copy, paste, and tweet, this is this roller coaster, or this antelope's balls dropped 4 inches from its butthole. Like nobody, that is not a cohesive level of communication. And quite frankly, I put a lot of it on you guys, particularly the Planet Zoo community, with the lack of communication, the resolve that you guys have in basically like keeping this community going amongst yourselves with very little Frontier input. I mean, we all loved the community managers and everyone that did a great job delivering the game. But even those guys, you didn't hear from them but once every 3 months. And like going back to our original point, that's a perfect way to ruin a lot of things. No communication. And I think we have to look at this, if we're looking big picture, this is them trying to reconcile a horrible communication history path that Frontier's been on forever. 10 years, 15 years. They have been a notoriously secretive company. I'm guessing they have their reasons. There are a lot of things out there that, you probably wouldn't want to broadcast. But, as far as this goes and them taking this step, I think that is what's the word? Like not a realization, but like not, I don't even want to say an admittance. They're not like, but it's like a nice way of them admitting that we know things are not on the up and up. We're trying to fix it. And I think that is a good thing. I think we all need to commend them for that because, you know, without that Frontier unlocked, look, they threw the Planet Zoo console on us, but how much more would we have heard by now? We got a lot of info on that Frontier unlocked. We know that Planet Zoo's not dead yet. It's still at least has one DLC to go, which a lot of you guys admit we already knew was coming even without Tim, the product manager, saying that. But, you know, now we can at least ask ourselves, okay, was Tim referencing that DLC that's going to be announced? Or is he talking beyond that DLC? So that's kind of interesting too, us to, you know, sit here and kind of wonder about that. Without the Frontier unlocked, we would have never heard that sentence. Like, that's just not something that gets tweeted out, you know, like they're not going to say, oh, and by the way, Planet Zoo, it's not quite done yet. Like that's not going to come across as a tweet for them or a Facebook post or Instagram. But when you have these live scenarios like the Frontier Unlocked and you get these guys on here, remember we always used to talk about Spoiler Sam. That's what happens. We get these little tidbits. That's why I like these Frontier, like almost pseudo unscripted events, particularly unscripted when they bring devs on. Like, you know, I'm sure Holly and Paul, they had a script they were going off of and you know, trying to make sure they used. But as far as Tim goes, that was just a project manager there, kind of being, you know, almost a little bit put on the spot with different questions. So all of that is just super interesting to me that they are going down this path. We still do not have any word on Planet Coaster 2. That was not mentioned. I was talking to Delady on Twitter a couple days ago. She thinks that will be, because I said, well, what do you think about February's Frontier Unlocked? Is that going to be the really interesting one where they let us know maybe more about these 3 CMS games that are coming? Or do you think that's more of a springtime going into April, you know, kind of getting ready for like a summer release, fall release, getting us excited for September, October, or November? She seems to think, yes, the latter. She thinks that whatever's going to be announced this year, that is probably going to come at one of the later spring Frontier Unlocked. But that's one of the cool things about this. We know now, like every month, every 30-something days, we're going to have an information dump to look forward to. And I think that's what excites most of us now too, with just talking about the communication and the quietness being over. Like I said, I think this is nothing but a good thing. You can't tell me one downside to Frontier Unlocked. The only thing that I might stretch and pull a little bit of doubt out of is the vagueness about the announcements. Like, even it kind of caught me a little bit when Paul first put out that, you know, 2 new games are gonna, you know, 2 new games are gonna be announced, and that in a pseudo technical way, he really just meant Planet Zoo console and 40K console. And to me, that was a little cheeky. That was a little like, really? Like, that was worded very, very cheeky. And then, of course, looking at the context, when he first put that out, we didn't know that Planet Zoo console was coming. So, you know, they didn't lie to us, but that was kind of, I think that was a little bit of a cheap shot. Like, come on, guys. We thought you all were going to announce like new games that nobody ever heard of. We didn't think it was just going to be the 2 new games, aka console ports. Like, I mean, you can stretch and call that a new game, but that was a little cheeky on their part. But that's the only thing out of the out of that live that I thought was a little, you know, little meh. But I tell you what, I will definitely be tuned in. We don't know. I haven't looked up the date. I think they said the last Wednesday of every month. So in this case, it'll be the 28th. We should see. So we'll tune in, see if anything exciting happens. Probably hear a lot more about the Planet Zoo console release, I would say. Who knows? Maybe even get a new game jump off. But yes, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I guess I'll also, we need to do a video on Planet Zoo and kind of what I think about its lifespan and what's going to happen after this last DLC that we think is coming is going to be released. And I also need to get you guys an Epic Universe video out and go through it and give you my thoughts on the land and everything that's happening with that. So anyways, guys, yeah, I just wanted to jump on here. I hadn't forgot about you. Just work has been crazy, work life crazy. So I think we're at a good spot now, a little bit of a slowdown point where I can start getting some videos out again and come down here and chat with you guys. So anyways, if you ended up enjoying this video, give me a big thumbs up. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. We're going to be covering all of this weird news going into spring and going into summer. We are literally like 40 days away, like 41 days away from spring. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. But anyways, guys, I'll jump on out of here and yep, I'll catch you in the next video.